But
Yeah.
you focus on yoga.
Yes.
So you're more, okay. Is that just your preference? Versus like hard cardio or
Yeah.
weightlifting?
So it's interesting. Growing up, I had sort of body image issues. As a dancer, there's this pressure to look a certain way and like look perfect in a leotard and all that stuff.
Sure.
So I would work out probably a little excessively.
Okay.
And so when I was younger, I overexerted myself, wasn't getting enough rest, and I learned from my mistakes, right? And so I used to work out at the gym all the time, like lifting weights, doing lots and lots of cardio. And I also grew up with asthma.
Wow.
Like I was
Okay.
born with asthma.
Sure.
And I kind of learned how to heal myself naturally. I don't take any nebulizers or any steroids or anything more for asthma because I just eat an anti-inflammatory diet, and asthma is an inflammatory issue.
Got you.
So, but I digress. Long story short, I used to work out a lot at the gym and do a lot of like cardio and whatnot. And then since I got more into yoga, I realized through yoga, breathing techniques, what happens is if you're overexerting yourself, you're actually putting more stress on your body. And when your body's stressed, your cortisol levels rise. And when your cortisol level rise, you're training your body to store fat. So you could be, if you're not getting enough rest and you're stressed and you're actually overdoing it at the gym, you're putting more stress on your body, which your body's like, I need to store more fat because your cortisol levels are so high. And what yoga is good for, so through like calming the nervous system, doing things like ujjayi breath and just slow and deep breathing, you can activate your parasympathetic nervous system, which is your rest and restorative mode, and lower your cortisol levels naturally. So your body isn't wanting to store fat. And you're not stressing yourself by overdoing it at the gym.
You mean mentally or physically?
Physically
Even
and
both?
mentally, yeah.
Yeah, okay.
So I learned that yoga is great for me in that way. And then I got my certification to teach yoga. But yeah, I mean, the main thing that turned me on to yoga was the stress release. Stress is one of the leading causes of all diseases.
Oh, man.
And when your body's stressed, and it's the mind-body connection, you ask mentally or physically, it's all connected.
Absolutely.
When you have any type of like mental stress, it's going to affect your physical body. You hold that stress, it can raise your cortisol levels. And so you're putting your body in a condition to store fat.
Gotcha.
So, but yeah, so yoga helped me a lot, just manage stress and calm. And so I wanted to share that with other people. It also helped me as a performing artist because as an actor, every job is stressful, but
Sure.
an actor has their unique stresses.
No, absolutely. I mean, I want to get into it.
Yeah.
Yeah. I had Adele here a couple weeks back.
Oh, great. Okay.
And we talked about it a fair bit. So, I mean, you say that it's all connected for you, yeah?
Yeah.
Your yoga, the stress management, that helps you acting. Is that, do you mean like keeping your mind clear? Yeah, okay.
Yeah, so I actually used to teach a yoga for actors at the Robert Mello studio for a couple years. That was really fun.
Wow.
Where I talked about the parallels of yoga and acting. So yoga principles are all about grounding yourself in the present moment.
Okay.
So you're letting go of the past, letting go of the future, and just grounding yourself in what you're doing on the mat. And you can carry that centeredness into your work as an actor, grounding yourself in the present, grounding yourself in those circumstances. So there's a lot of parallels between yoga and acting, connecting with your breath, that whole mind-body connection that you cultivate in yoga practice. You can carry that into your acting work.
Wow.
So
Okay. So are there roles that you lean towards?
roles?
Yeah. Or characters?
Yeah.
Because, I mean, what if the character calls it for high stress? They're a stressed individual.
Exactly.
Yeah.
And then you can change your breath in that way to get yourself into that stressful state.
Hyped up, yeah.
Yeah. And so, but the good thing about yoga helps me unwind after a stressful character, if I have to play a very emotionally taxing character going through a lot of emotional turmoil, yoga can help you unwind after that and come back to your center, back to your
Me.
But the roles I gravitate towards are just any type of roles that are complex.
Okay.
That have layers.
Sure.
Not one-dimensional.
Right. That's tough.
Right.
That's tough because, a lot of writing nowadays, it's tough to get things that aren't so flat.
Yes.
Yeah.
And I love playing roles that are different from me personally, that are different from my outlook, different perspectives. And
I see.
Because it's more of a challenge.
Sure.
And I love playing crazy roles, roles that are really far, far, far from who I am and how I operate in life.
Sure.
And I feel like, as an actor, you kind of cultivate that sense of fluidity and adaptability in your personality. And yoga can also help you cultivate that sense of fluidity and going with the flow in life, but also in your art. Gotcha. So, but yeah, I love playing roles that are different from me. I'm with myself all the time, 24/7. I get bored with myself. So I like to see what it's like in someone else's skin.
Right.
Different perspective.
Okay.
And it helps me become even more empathetic.
Right. No, that's the biggest draw for me.
Yeah.
To be honest, to acting, because I've been on the other side of the camera for years.
Right.
10 years.
Yeah.
Yeah.
10 years.
About that. Yeah.
Wow.
Okay. Been doing this kind of stuff for 10 years, like directing, writing. Well, more so now.
Yeah.
But when I started it was like I got into school as a musician and was a showman, went crazy all through middle and high school, And then when I went to college, I was like, well, I want to be a studio musician, but it'd be good to know about the technology it takes to record those musicians. Because then I can just do my own stuff.
Exactly, yeah.
But I got in there and I realized that industry is hard. Not only to find jobs, but it's kind of, ever since then, I was like, well, I want to tell stories. Maybe I'll do it through music. Maybe I'll help other people their stories in production. And so as I started to go into college to the Art Institute, I was like, well, my first year, I'm going to work every year. I'm going to have a job in the industry. And it was tough to get internships. I ended up getting 3. And I gave myself a rule, always have it paid, because experience is going to kill you. It's true.
Right. No, that's true.
Yeah. And then I found it easier, and people seemed to react more to students that had video work. And I was like, there was this one guy who put a little short together everyone was raving about. And I watched it and I was like, come on. Could be a little better. Let's calm it down. And then I was like, well, what if I try it?
Yeah.
So I went out and I bought, way too much equipment. Way too much.
Yeah.
And started doing it myself, and I found that it was easier to get work through a visual medium. But I took what I learned through audio, and I felt like my work was able to stand out because of that.
Yeah.
And I ended up graduating and did some writing, and everything like that. Now I'm in advertising.
Yeah.
But I like the idea of, to your point, stepping into other people's shoes. And most of the people that I admire from a writing perspective and, from film, even in video games, a lot of them have backgrounds in acting or they're acting in their own stuff.
Yeah.
And that's pretty powerful.
Yeah.
But, man, it's so hard.
I know it's a tough industry, but I always say, if it was easy, everyone would do it.
Absolutely.
The hard is what makes it great.
Yeah. I'm with you. And right now is the best time because, look, all this technology, it's easier now to get content made, get it out there.
Yeah. And like you were saying, making your own content. And that's one thing I've been dabbling in a lot lately.
Yeah.
And that's what I love about Atlanta is there's so many amazing artists, actors, performers that are making their own work.
Absolutely.
And there's a lot of blending of actors becoming writers, actors becoming producers, and vice versa, and people behind the camera getting in front of the camera. And I love that. People are multi-talented here in Atlanta.
Yeah.
So yeah, I've been working on some of my own projects, and I've really enjoyed writing and producing, and
Awesome.
very low scale, but it's really fun, and it's just great to see because as an actor, you're helping to tell someone else's story.
Sure.
But as a writer, it's your own story.
Oh, man.
It's your own message.
Yeah.
So that it's so fun to see that come to life.
Absolutely. And so your messages, you saying with your channel.
Yeah.
What do you want to try to say? So I'm on the internet, I'm typing, and I see your channel. Oh, what's this about?
Yeah.
High level, what do you want?
Well, so my channel, I'm creating a healthy lifestyles YouTube channel with yoga tutorials and healthy recipes. And that is called Yoga Flow with Kim right now. But I'm working on creating a lot of the content and releasing stuff. I haven't released a whole lot yet.
Gotcha.
And then I'm also working on, short films.
Okay. That you're writing.
That I'm collaborating. I'm writing with other people.
Okay.
And with my little group, my partners in crime,
there you go.
We've created and produced some short films.
I've seen a couple.
A couple of them I think I might have sent you. Some of them are just, I think I sent you some really silly ones with just our cell phones. We've upgraded a little bit from all that, but
sure.
But yeah, I'm learning more about behind the camera stuff a little bit as well.
Yeah.
But my message, to answer your question, so even in, my short films, I want there to be some type of positive message.
Gotcha.
I'm really stubborn about that.
Absolutely.
Even when I'm doing comedy or horror, when I'm collaborating with other writers, I'm very stubborn. I was I want there to be some type of positive message.
Absolutely, yeah.
Because I want it to be, even if it's a dark comedy, I feel comedy is the best source of medicine in so many ways.
Absolutely.
When you can laugh at the foibles of humanity and
though,
laugh at yourself.
Yeah, we have quite a few.
yeah. But I feel like laughter is healing in so many ways. So I love comedy. But I also love, provoking thought about, the deeper philosophical questions about life and art and why we're here. And so,
no, I'm with you.
So it's hard to narrow down just one message with all of that.
Sure. Yeah.
But,
absolutely.
But I guess, keep thinking, keep questioning, and keep growing and learning.
Okay.
Okay.
So your shorts and your recipes, your yoga, all that will live in that one channel, yeah?
No.
You split them up?
Yeah. I'll have my healthy lifestyles channel will just be yoga tutorials and recipes.
Gotcha.
The short films, I released a couple of them on my personal YouTube channel, but then those are private for now because we're submitting them to film festivals.
Sure.
I'm working on one right now called Rebel Boudoir.
Ooh.
And
boudoir.
Yeah. Are you familiar with boudoir photography at all?
You mean classy, uber dressed up. Yeah, dolled up, right?
Classy sensuality.
I love that stuff.
Erotic. Yeah. So
Santos scoop.
So the film's called Rebel Boudoir.
Okay.
And so boudoir photography originated in France. Mm-hmm. And originally it was just about capturing a female in her private room. Okay. So private moment where she can drop the facade and either grieve or be quiet. It wasn't necessarily about lingerie. And that is, it's evolved here in the West, modern day boudoir photography. Girls tend to get, photographs of themselves looking sexy, looking hot, and they give them to their boyfriends for Valentine's Day.
Super American.
Yeah, exactly. So in this short we're making, I won't go into the whole thing, but essentially, so I'll be playing a character whose boyfriend is trying to spice up their romance by buying a couple's boudoir session.
Okay.
But he's like, this is a gift for you for Valentine's Day, when really it's for him.
Sure.
Because she's and she's also an art appraiser, and she's looking at these photos, and she's like, this just looks like soft porn.
Sure.
There's nothing deeper. It's one-dimensional, lame. There's nothing imaginative. There's no deeper meaning other than soft porn.
Sure.
And so she's not really into that. But he convinces her to give it a try. And throughout the process, it goes back to body image.
Okay.
And like I told you growing up, as a dancer, I actually had, I struggled with some body image issues and self-esteem issues because of stuff like that.
Sure.
And so this project really speaks to people who, and we all, I think it's human to like be our own self-critic.
Absolutely.
And be super self-critical. And especially as artists and performers, like, or, in front of the camera, there's this pressure to look a certain way for a certain character. So, we think we have flaws, like physical flaws, like these one things that we think are just awful, right? Mm-hmm. So each of these characters, they have this one flaw that they are insecure about. Mm-hmm. And to them, they think it's like really bad. But through this photography session, it actually becomes a little transformative and empowering, and they overcome their silly little insecurities about their physical flaws, and so it becomes more than just
sure, just sexy.
yeah. But it's also funny and silly.
That sounds awesome.
So
I love that.
be on the lookout for that.
Will do.